recently just discovered that I was an atheist.
Congratulations.
And
Welcome,
I wanted to
welcome.
talk about that. I know, it's been great coming to the club. I haven't got my club card yet, but I'm still waiting for it.
You haven't been issued your license to sin yet? Is the
Well,
I've applied for it. It's coming in the mail. It got lost a couple times, but it should be here soon.
You know what? Definitely get in touch. You got to get those George Soros checks coming in.
Yeah.
Be part of the conspiracy.
Speaking of, if you know George Soros, send him this clip. Speaking as a board member of the ACA, we accept donations.
We do.
We will take your money.
The ACA is a 501c3 nonprofit. Hunter, we are talking all over you.
Usually we have a better pitch than give us
atheist?
your money, but yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I've watched the show before. I'm used to Jamie doing it, so.
Yep, it's only me. Eric never does that.
Nope.
Oh, no, Eric is too perfect to this to do that.
Yep.
Oh.
But,
What do you want to talk about, Hunter?
well, what I want to talk about, I guess a little bit of background on me. I was raised in, like, a really religious home. Me and my family, like, we never really went to church much, but it was pretty obvious and expected that, you know, if you lived in this house, you were a Christian. And so I never really ended up going to church until I got older in my teens and started going with friends. And it wasn't until about a year ago that it started clicking in my mind that this doesn't make sense. And, you know, I was even in church today with a friend, and I was just sitting there going, like, this is all just delusional. And I was just wondering, like, because I'm the only person that knows that I don't believe it. How do you even go about just being honest with people that, hey, I don't believe this stuff anymore?
It takes a while to get there.
And it's different for everybody. That's the thing that makes atheism hard. It'd be a lot easier if we were a cult. There'd be one answer for everything, and you would have to do it immediately.
So really, a lot of it is your discretion. You don't have to come out to everybody. There's no God that's forcing you to. You don't have a salvation to get to if you don't hurry up. Really, it's take care of you. Take care of you and just be honest with yourself. You know, it doesn't always need to be this big sit-down talk. The way I tried it out when I was around, you know, my close friends, they all knew that I was diving into it, and it was no big surprise. But for people, you know, ancillary type people who knew me but didn't know me that well, I just would passively, you know, if something came up, the war on Christmas was a big one for me. I was like, oh, well, actually, I love Christmas, and I'm an atheist. And they're like, you're an atheist? Yeah, absolutely. You know, but you helped us with this charity fundraiser. Yeah, I did.
Oh, you're not an atheist. You're a good person.
Oh, yep, exactly. So
there's also a book we can recommend, or at least I would recommend, which is Coming Out Atheist by Greta Christina. I mean, I have more to say about this, but that's also a book recommendation.
Yeah. Recovering from Religion, again, they've got great resources as well.
I would say, so I've come out a couple of times, and there's this idea of, like, you know, Mom, Dad, let me sit you down. Here's this big deal. It's this huge thing. Fuck your Jesus, rah! Right? Well, that's not really what I would advise, generally, depending on your parents' sense of humor. But just the idea that they can see that you're still you, even though they gradually get the idea, like, oh, okay, you know, they don't like going to church, or, oh, you know, they're less enthusiastic about the Easter service, and then eventually they start to see that you don't believe. So one of the things that's interesting is, even though I'm the only one in my immediate family that will say I am an atheist, there are a select couple other people that are non-religious, right? Some of them have been mostly non-religious through their lives, or at least not practicing or not thinking about it. But one of my siblings falls into that category, and they would describe themselves as non-religious, and they have, and they don't understand why I call myself atheist. But my parents learned about this without, you know, my sibling trying to tell them. They just didn't have any strong feelings about it. You know, oh, when we get back, you know, Are you gonna have, you're flying back into town from college, are you gonna have like, you know, clothes to go to the Easter service? And their answer is like, or the, you know, Christmas service or whatever. Their answer is like, well, no, not really. I think I'm gonna wanna sleep that day or whatever. Is as forceful as their statements on that ever got. And I actually was sort of in the room at one point when my parents were discussing something related to the church and you know, my sister going to church for this. And they were trying to say like, okay, well, we'll go to this church service, but you know, they're not gonna come with us or whatever. And it was, you know, I'm trying not to tell tales, but it was my dad, and there was this pause because, you know, my parents are both believers and both go to church, and I think my mother spends more time there than my dad, but it got to a point where they were sort of like, well, you know, she's not gonna wanna go because, and there was this like awkward pause where they were gonna be like, and my dad said something like, well, because, you know, she doesn't believe in Santa Claus anymore. It was actually the phrase he used. And so it's this sort of like, oh yeah, well, you know, they grow out of it, right? As long as the ties that are there because they're your family are strong, the tie that's there because you go to the same church as them can slowly fade away and be subsumed by the familial relationship. Yeah. Right? If the reason that they like you is that, you know, they raised you, they were raised with you, you know, whatever, and they know you, then the part where it's, oh, but also we all share one bread, one cup becomes less important.
Yeah. Hey, Hunter, quick question.
Are you still on the line?
I've talked to you via email, haven't I?
I know I emailed like a couple months ago, but I'm not sure if that was you or not that I was talking with.
Yeah,
probably, yeah.
I remember you, man. Thank you for calling in. And
yeah, no problem.
Keep in touch. I definitely look forward to emails. I do answer. I try to answer almost all emails. Yeah, dude, good luck on your journey, and you're not alone, brother.
I know the call has been long, but that's because I've been talking.
Yes,
so.
And I want to get to an actual religious caller.
Okay, all right, fine.
Yes,
God,
so
I
Hunter,
ramble on like a religious caller.
Yes, you do. Take care, Hunter. We'll see you next time.
Sorry. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks, guys. It was good, great calling in.
Yeah.
You know I love you, right, Jamie?
I know, but sometimes I doubt.